Hey, what's up? Britton here. I'm not going to make this a relationship advice channel, but this particular video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my recent breakup with my girlfriend and why it was such a good breakup and why you should try to do it this way too. Um, so, I don't know if, obviously, like people say communication is key and like that that's true, but I don't know if like everyone who says that really realizes how deeply that's true. Now obviously, I don't know if you're into the Myers Briggs stuff, but like I'm an INTP and she's INTJ, so naturally, like we're interested in idea based discussion. And especially when there was anything going on in our relationship, anything weird, like we started to act out of character, like we tried to confront it right away. So, I mean, obviously, like you want to do that, right? But temperamentally speaking, it was pretty easy for us to communicate. So I understand that like some people just have that problem naturally, like they're just way more passive. Um, but yeah, I mean, look, a good breakup, and what I mean by a good breakup is like a mutual breakup that doesn't end in a complete and utter shit show. A good breakup starts with a good relationship to begin with, and a relationship isn't bad just because it ends at some point. Like every relationship is going to teach you a lot about people and teach you a lot about yourself if you're open to that sort of thing, and it'll constantly make you like being in a relationship constantly makes you assess and reassess over and over again where you want to go in the future, because like ideally that should be something that you're discussing with your partner, because like why would you waste time with someone who you don't see yourself having a future with? If you're just in it for like the sex, then don't be exclusive, just either have an open relationship or a friends with benefits. And like, I know it's like easier said than done. Not everyone's good at playing that game, but and maintaining like emotional stability throughout that sort of relationship. I understand it can be weird. Some people can't do it, but yeah, a good breakup starts with a good relationship, and I use the flag system. I don't know, like there are different ways of like looking at this, but um, I have like somewhat of a checklist of like things that I need in my partner to have a successful relationship, and if they meet all those criteria, then that's good, but that's not nearly enough. What's even more important is realizing what you don't want in a partner, and they're red flags, so to speak. So like when I initially got involved with this particular person, I kind of went down the list, and she didn't have any red flags. There were none that came up, as far as I could tell, after extensive communication. And they were all green, and maybe a couple little yellow flags here and there. But we decided to go ahead with the relationship because we're interested enough in each other, and maybe those yellow flags would get sorted out. Maybe they wouldn't, and that would end up being the cause of why we would eventually break up. And I mean that's what happened. But yeah, a good breakup starts with a good relationship. You can use whatever system you want. I like the flag system, and I always look for reasons to not date the person first. I always look for those red flags first. And if there are absolutely any red flags, even just one, I call it off. There's no future. So yeah, you can use whatever system you like. I like that. But anytime something comes up in a relationship where you feel any amount of tension whatsoever, try to articulate it to yourself. If you can't really put a finger on exactly what it is, then discuss it with your partner. And then even if you think you have it figured out, then still discuss it with your partner. Don't think it's just that you live in your world and she lives in hers, and that you can just work on your own problems without each other and expect your the longevity of your relationship to manifest. Like, so yeah, communication is key. All right. What else does that mean? It means nonverbal communication. I know there was a study done that showed that eye rolling in therapy, eye rolling was the first sign of an impending divorce. And so if you start doing that with your partner, then something's up. If like they speak and you just can't take them seriously, or you get like agitated by them, then something needs to be articulated better. And maybe it's you, maybe it's them, but a relationship's a two-way street. So don't always point the fingers. And whenever like you have an emotional reaction to the person, a negative emotional reaction, it's easy to project the problems onto the other person and to not take responsibility for any shortcomings that you have, or even realize any shortcomings you have. So it's like, pay attention to yourself, pay attention to your partner, what their wants and needs and desires are, but it's like, you still have to be an individual, like even as part of a relationship, and like sort through your own problems. And depending on how effectively you do that or not do that, that may tell your partner something about you that they don't like, and maybe that was something that was like lurking, an aspect of your personality that was lurking beneath the surface that you were never really aware of. And now that you're aware of it, it's something you need to deal with. And now that they're aware of it, they may not want to be with you, and that's okay, or they may not want to help you through it. And, God forbid, like if you're with someone who doesn't want to help you through a personal matter like that, then that's probably not a person who you want to be with anyway, because it's also a relationship is also a two-way street in the sense that you help each other through things. It's not easy all the time, So, but, so, as far as my relationship went, yeah, we're still friends, but we decided to call off the romantic and exclusive aspect of our relationship. We still like hang out and do some of the things that we used to do, but we're not officially a couple anymore. We're not tied down with each other anymore. And that's a good thing, because we had one of those reassessment moments where we individually articulated what we want out of our personal futures, and we put those side by side, and they didn't line up, whereas they did line up before. And so there was no point to continue, so it was a clean break, So that's all I got right now. That's how to break up with someone mutually. It starts with having a good relationship to begin with, and being selective, because you have to be. Like, don't settle for someone, and the relationship can be a success, even if it ends at some point, because hopefully you'll learn a lot about yourself and about people and relationships in general. So, peace.